y'all. Happy day to everybody. The sun is out, the heat is coming, and I love that I get to work in an air-conditioned studio because I saw some folks who were working outside last week and holy moly, sweat and running. Oh my gosh, so crazy. Y'all be careful out there, stay hydrated. Yesterday, we were inside the Woodbridge Inn General Store where we did a cooking class, and we did peach cobbler, strawberry cobbler, apple cobbler, blackberry cobbler, blueberry cobbler, and we used the smart button, and we used the oven in the back of the store rather than the one right in front of where we were doing our thing, because it would have been way too hot. And I have to say thank you to everybody who attended the class. It was fun. It was really cool to see just how easy a dessert that I've been making over 52 years is to share with folks, because if you just pay attention, and the hardest thing about doing anything with me is I don't know how to measure, and I just eyeball it and I know when it's right. And so I think everything turned out pretty good. We had one little blip at the end because I misjudged the space in the oven, and we were making 5 cobblers and we ended up with room for 4, and so we had to kind of hold one of them back for a little bit, but it worked out fine. And again, it is berry season in Georgia, so if you are thinking about picking blackberries, my advice to you, pick the wild berries. They taste so much better than the tame ones. I bought tame ones yesterday because I didn't want to use any of the wild ones. Number one, I didn't want to give them up yet. And it was crazy because the tame ones just don't have the flavor that the other ones do. So, but we had a good class. It was a lot of fun, a lot of different people, and there's a new restaurant opening in Jasper. And the people who own that were actually in the class, and it was exciting to hear what they're going to be preparing. They're from Argentina. They're going to have very unique food, but the chef was there, and let me tell you, I can't wait till it opens. I'm going to be over there eating. And I told everybody that we were doing the class with about Mike's restaurant in Ellijay, and I said, now listen, I know y'all are all from different places and we all think differently, but how many of you like vegetables? And everybody raises their hand. We love vegetables. And I said, well, go to Mike's in Ellijay and try out some vegetables. Go to any of our local growers and buy some vegetables. And put those fresh veggies on your plates right now, because now is the season. Now is the season. Tomorrow night is the season that we're going to share a little bit of history, and we're going to talk about this in just a few minutes, the Cry the Eagle book. But first of all, I want to remind y'all, we're all getting older, and we all know somebody who's had Alzheimer's. We all know somebody who has suffered from dementia. We all know somebody whose personality totally changed, and we all know somebody who kind of went away from us before they died, and that is so very sad. It happens every single day. But I was reading a poem yesterday that a guy had written about his grandmother, or his great-grandmother, and he was talking about the fact that she was there, but she couldn't respond, and she couldn't let them know that she was there. She was still in the shell of her body, but the reminder was gone. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so sad, but it was a beautiful poem. So I want to remind you, tomorrow in Ball Ground at 11 a.m. at the library. This is right downtown near the 4-way stop sign. Easy to find, 435 Old Canton Road. Come by and be a part of a discussion group about Alzheimer's, because Alzheimer's, whether we like it or not, it's going to affect each and every one of us. Now we're going to share some photos now that I did this weekend, and some I did a little while back, but we want to show you kind of what's going on in my world. And what's really going on in my world is that little baby girl.
Is it pretty?
I haven't seen her in 10 days,
pretty?
and so I kind of get that.
I don't see the
you know how
ducks.
if you were worried about quitting smoking and you start detoxing and you start feeling weird? I hadn't seen Xana in 10 days, so I had to see Xana, so we had to do this video of her today. But what a precious sight, and we all have so much to be thankful for. We are all so blessed, no matter what we're facing. We are blessed, and in one way or another, there's some blessing in your life that you wouldn't give up for anything, and that is that little blessing And you talk about God being good. Oh my goodness. She loves everybody. She is just filled with love, filled with laughter, filled with happiness. She loves everybody that stops by to see her. She just grins and waves at them and kisses them by kisses, and just an amazing, amazing child. And I'm so thankful to God for her. Just boy, what a joy, what a joy, what a joy. Now, my weekend was very joyful because busy at Malone's Pond on Saturday, and then busy at Woodbridge General Store on Sunday. And I love doing that. That was so much fun, and it was so cool. And thank you to Miss Emma, who was my helper and my sidekick, and she actually works at the Woodbridge Inn, and where I worked 52 years ago. You know, I worked for all the owners of the Woodbridge Inn, but I can tell you Joe Ruffert taught me more than anybody, because he taught me the value of not only hard work, but the value of giving when you don't have much to give. And that was kind of Joe Ruffert. He was a good guy. Now, this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow night at the Ball Ground Historical Society. We're going to talk about a book that Dawn's grandfather wrote. His name was Forrest Wade. He married Dorothy Howell from the Ball Ground community of Conns Creek, where they are all buried. And I went over there and visited the cemetery the other day, and I was looking at the history of the Conns Creek Church Cemetery from the 1850s. There are graves there, and it is amazing to me the awesome amount of just local history in the parameter of what we call Ball Ground. And Ball Ground stretches far and wide, and that is Forrest and Dorothy's tombstone. And then on the back it has Cry the Eagle. He also invented something that I'm going to share tomorrow night at the thing. If I can find some peas to pop, I'm going to bring one of his inventions. And again, they were from the Conns Creek community of Ball Ground, and he 50 years ago went to be with the Lord, and 50 years ago Dawn was born, so it's kind of a 50-year celebration, and generations and generations. And I hope that Sammy and Diane will be able to attend. His mom and dad are buried there too. That's Forrest Wade's brother-in-law and sister-in-law. The Howell family knows one thing that I am sure of: work ethics. Hard working family. And there's Carol. It's crazy, y'all. I can see him driving his old station wagon down the street today, and he's been gone since 2006. But it's so strange to look back. And this is the time of year. Jake and Della Howell were the parents of Dorothy Howell, who married Forrest Wade, who wrote the book, and the rest is history. And then that's where Dawn came from. So, and she does have, boy, does she have the roots of the Cherokee deep in her, because she would rather hunt, fish, can, and grow a crop than anything on this world. She loves preserving the past. And so I think it's really cool. It's going to be exciting to be able to talk about that tomorrow night. And when we look at these, I look at those photos and I think about how many people have gone on. I can look through my phone and find 20 who've gone on. Now isn't that amazing? The first Conns Creek building. That is so cool. And I can remember Dorothy would get, sometimes it'd be revival time, and she'd say, "You better get ready, we're headed to Conns Creek." And I was always like, what are we going to do? And it was a great meeting. And there you go. There's the old arbor. It's really cool. Really cool history in Ball Ground. And again, it's on Conns Creek. That's the home where the Howell family grew up. It is still standing. The old well curb is still standing. And that's where Della and Jake raised their family. And you think about all those kids in that house, maybe a 3-room house. I've never been inside it, but Dawn loves that house. And one of the Howells still lives on the property. Miles lives there in the big white house. And but look at that, how cool that is. Just a piece of history. And it goes way, way back. But if it weren't for Forrest Wade falling in love with Dorothy Howell, we wouldn't even know about Cry the Eagle. So we're going to be talking about that again tomorrow night. Now that, I have to say, as Father's Day passed, I had a lot of thoughts about that sweet man, and I found some notes that he had written. We gave him a TV, and he came home and he wrote the sweetest thank you note about the TV years and years ago. And it's so cool to remember the people who made a difference in your life. And that gentleman, Eddie Brackett, made a difference in my life. He was such a good guy. And boy, is he missed by everybody who knew and loved him. Now this is back to the Woodbridge. We did peach cobbler first, we did strawberry cobbler next, and that, y'all, is that world's largest shrimp cocktail. And that was just a genius thing of taking my old antique punch bowl, taking the pedestal off of it, filling it with ice and lettuce and lemons, and being able to preserve that. It was great to keep the shrimp cold, so it worked out so cool. So look in your cabinets. If you have your grandma's old stuff, then use it. And there are our guests, and we had a really good time. We're missing 2 on the corner, but you'll catch them in a minute. But and if you haven't been to any of the cooking classes at the Woodbridge General Store, they happen often. You can get on their Facebook page and you can sign up. You can see who's going to be there. I'm going to come back in the fall. That's blackberry cobbler. Now that's Sherry's favorite cobbler. Sherry's really favorite cobbler. I could eat that whole cobbler. I love blackberry cobbler. Oh my gosh, I love blackberry cobbler. And then that's peach cobbler, and everybody loves peach cobbler, but I love blackberry the most. I just love blackberry. I can't help it. So one of the other things we're going to do in the fall, and this, I want y'all to, let's just watch this. Looky, when it's French toast day at my house, there's no way we're going to start it without Aunt Jemima on the table. Yes, we get to see her sweet smiling face as we have for generation after generation, but in the wisdom of the syrup company, they took that precious lady's face off of the bottle. Well, I bought up a bunch of bottles, and I have them, and when one bottle gets empty, I fill it with another brand. No, I do not buy pearl milling. I'm not supporting a company who took away the history, the heritage, and the beautiful smile of an amazing lady that we have loved for many generations. So guys, if you can find some Aunt Jemima bottles, fill them up, sit her at the table with you, but don't fill her up with pearl milling. Go to Log Cabin or any other brand, but do not give credit to a company that destroyed the image and the sweetness of that precious face. Okay, now we're going to go back to Ball Ground, and we're going to show you some videos of a house that is being totally redone. It already looks completely different than it did when it started. It kind of had arches. I'm not sure what kind of time period it was, but totally different. And this is the video of a house that has been totally gutted now, and it's going to be part of a farm scene in downtown Ball Ground. There's the breakfast bar, and the breakfast bar is in the little kitchen, and it is amazing to me. All of the walls now are gone, but this is going to be turned into truly a country looking home, and it's going to have it's going to be white and black like all the houses now. White with black trim, and I don't know what color door they're going to be, but I did talk to the owner of this the other day, and he has decided how the inside's going to be designed, because it will be totally different. In this room, there's actually a well under the floor, and that's going to be left just like it was. But it's amazing to me how they gutted this so quickly, and all of a sudden it's going to look like a farmhouse, and that's totally different than the way it looked. So I'm sure he'll have an island in there and big open spaces, and he said there was a lot of termite damage, and so they had that to deal with. But it's going to be really cool, and you'll get to see the finished product. All of this will be completely different, and it will have that beautiful white country open air, not dark colors, and just totally different. So it's going to be really neat. And I'm excited that Josh and his family are going to turn this into a farm where you will be able to come and visit and have sunflowers and pumpkins and blueberries and different things, and your children can learn about agriculture. And this is truly less than a mile to downtown Ball Ground. So it's going to be really neat. And it's going to be really neat for everybody to get to spend some time just learning a little bit about, you plant a seed and it turns into something that can feed your family. And I think it's really cool that they came up with this idea to do that. And I have seen his yards, and the man must have the greenest thumb in history, because everything he does produces bountiful, beautiful stuff. and it's going to be really, really neat. So, and again, you'll get to see the finished product of the house. They said they're running a couple of months behind schedule because it just a lot going on, and his wife is a teacher, and obviously with a couple of kids, they have a lot going on, and he runs a business. He's one of the really good home builders in Ball Ground. So, and it's going to be exciting that he is saving this house and turning it into something that honestly will be open to the public, and they'll use this house. I'm not sure if they're going to use the house for somebody to live in or for a storefront. I don't know what he's decided about that, but it will look like a country farmhouse. And getting rid of the popcorn ceilings, I can assure you that. Got rid of that, got rid of the speckle walls or whatever, shackle, whatever that stuff was. Kind of looked like, yeah, I don't know, not sure. But it's all going to be very different, going to be very modern. So, yes, kind of looked like stucco walls, but it wasn't. So anyway, it's going to be neat, and going to be neat to see that there's been a lot of good food prepared in that kitchen, and it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit different. Everything now is open, airy, brighter colors. Most people don't use a bunch of window coverings. It's a different world we're living in, and it's going to be neat to see that transformed. And I've already seen the gutted version of it, and I've seen where they had the holes and the problems with the termites, but he's taking care of all of that, and it's going to be neat, and I can't wait to share it with you. So I think we have some outside shots of what the outside of the house looked like too, and the outside was a dark color and had iron gates up, and just a totally different version, and I think it's going to have a porch with rocking chairs sitting on it, and just kind of look warm and welcoming instead of dark and dated. It's going to be very different. So it's exciting, and I'm thankful that Josh had this vision, because he is a master. He is a master of changing everything. And again, his building, you can go around anywhere in Ball Ground and you can tell the houses he built. He does a really, really good job. So, and that actually blew my mind. That fireplace had an old heater inside the fireplace. It wasn't a fireplace, it had an old heater in the fireplace, which I don't know how that worked, but anyway, it did for many, many years. So there you go. Have we got the exterior pictures?
Yeah, give me a second. Let me cut back to you.
Okay. All right. Okay, we're going to go to the exterior, because when you are going down Old Dawsonville Road, it's on the right as you're going into town from Jordan Road. If you'll just watch the progress, you will see the fences come down, the pond is going to be filled in. It's going to have parking for school buses right in that area right down there, so the teachers can bring the kids, and you see what it looks like there. Doesn't look anything like that now today, and I'm going to bring you a completed video when they finish the inside, and you will see that it is going to be converted to a farmhouse. Very, very different look. All that fencing is gone, it's wide open, and very, very different. So it's exciting to be able to share. This is a beautiful piece of property where one family lived for many, many years, and then another family lived for many years, and now it's going to be open to the public, and everybody's going to be able to enjoy this beautiful property just minutes from downtown Ball Ground. So again, if you're on Old Dawsonville Road, kind of be looking and watching the progress. And I think, golly, what did they name their farm? Two Little Helping Hands, something like that. I'll take a picture of their sign, but it's again about teaching children agriculture, and I think that's so very, very important, because in the world we're in today, we better learn to grow it, we better learn to can it, we better learn from the Cherokee, we better learn from any and everybody who will teach you to can, preserve, dry your fruits, put them up this time of year and have them year round. Learn to live as the Cherokee did, learn to live as our great-grandmothers did. Learn to live as those who are smart enough to know that we are not guaranteed that we're going to have a food source tomorrow. We're not guaranteed anything tomorrow, the way the world's going. We don't know where our crops are coming from. We don't know where our meat's coming from. And maybe we ought to get to know that. So now I had a picture of the gentleman who wrote this book, and that's Forrest Wade. And again, tomorrow night at the Historical Society in downtown Ball Ground, we're going to be talking about this. And this book just celebrated over 65 years because he wrote it probably 10 or 15 years before he passed away. He passed away 50 years ago this year on, I believe it was May the 31st, and there he is. And this was, this was just a guy who learned from his great-grandfather, his grandfather. He had a grandmother who was part Cherokee, and he spent many, many years walking and learning and listening to the woods as the woods told a story, as the riverbanks told a story, and then he wrote the story. And as I've been reading over the book again, I read it years and years ago, and I've been reading over it, I found out things that I hadn't remembered from the past. So I hope that you will come in tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, the Ball Ground Historical Society, and get to know the history of the Cherokee. And if you're new to our area and you don't know about the Chief Van House over in Chatsworth, it's on the corner of 225 and Dudda Street. Can't remember the other one, but easy to find. Just Google Chief Van House, and it is a state-run facility, and I'm not sure it's open on Monday, but get on there and look at their schedule and take a trip over there, because it is a really good way to look back at how the Cherokee lived before we did that fatal removal of those folks that we walked to Oklahoma. So, okay guys, we are going to share some music with y'all today. And when I think about music, I look over at that piano and I wish every single day Linda Autry was sitting at it. I think about Bob Reese and what he does for our community, what he gives back. Every year he gives back. He does the Widow and Widower's Meal. He does the White Christmas. He does something every single day of his life. He gets up, his day begins planning something for somebody else. Maybe we should take a lesson from Bob and Linda Reese. So they do amazing things, and they brought Miss Linda Autry in to play the piano at the last event down in Canton. They started bringing her in a few years ago, and wow, you have seen her here on ETC, and we're going to get to see a little clip of the last White Christmas. It's actually 2 years ago, and baby Xana was in the audience. It was a fun day, and I said, how do you raise your kids? You raise them sitting in church listening to good music, or you raise them at gospel concerts? And that's where we started her. So let's go and let's visit with Just a Night of Music. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
I'm telling you, this man, I have to say it because it's true, and I can't repeat it enough, has my heart and support in whatever he chooses to do, because I know him and Miss Linda love this community. They love to support children, and more importantly, they love our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Would you give him one more hand clap? Mr. Bob Reese, thank you for being my friend, Bob. Now listen, he is proud. I'm not any prouder than Bob could be. I'm just equally proud, okay, Bob? Get that straightened out. I have nicknames for all my grandchildren, and I won't embarrass Carrie tonight and call them by their nicknames, nor will I embarrass the girls. So I'm going to try to remember their real names, if I could. This is Catherine, Caroline, and because your grandfather's here, I'm going to use yours. Little Tom, Kelly, and Swafford. The Swafford sisters.
Love incarnate, love divine. Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time. And delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Georgia Medical Treatment Center now has 2 locations to bring you the high-quality holistic care you've come to know and expect. We treat neck, back, and joint pain with chiropractic care and injection-based treatment without the need for surgery or prescription painkillers. Our medical weight loss program can also provide relief while ridding your body of toxins, pounds, and inches while improving your overall health. Call today for a free consultation, 770-345-2000, or go online to georgiamtc.com.
You know, how you feel on the inside is just as important to me as how you feel on the outside.
Oh, Daddy. I'm grown up, in every way, care and take care of you. You're my grown up and I know you're there. I'm your grown up and you know I care. 'Cause it's you and me and me and you. So when you are okay or not okay, I'll take care of you.
See us anytime you can.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, the ridge of mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads take me home. I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. I hear a voice in the morning hour, she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. When I'm driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. My mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Down country roads, take me home. Country roads.
Hey guys, now I want to share something with you that's very, very precious to me. And it's a song that Dwight did when we learned that our dear friend David Ralston had gone to be with the Lord. That was a very, very hard time for our community. And as we're in an era of more elections and more times to look at who are we going to choose to run our country, to run our cities, our counties, our states, what are you looking for in a politician? A politician is only a person. He's only a man. He's only a woman. He's only as good as his word. And I can tell you, David Ralston did so much for me personally, just to honor us with every year he would come and give us an update on what was going on in the state of Georgia. And he honestly didn't care just about the North Georgia mountains. He cared about the whole state of Georgia. Last night we were watching a program on YouTube about Georgia, and it is amazing what this state offers in beautiful historical plantations, historical, beautiful, beautiful gardens, and just places to visit. Get out and get to know Georgia. Do it like the Speaker of the House did. Go from one end of the state to the other end of the state and spend some time getting to know this amazing place that we do get to call home. We are very, very blessed to be residents of Georgia. You know, I've been a resident of Georgia all but 7 years of my life, and I lived in Orlando during that time that I was 7 to 14. And it kind of molded me because I loved the city living. I loved being able to walk to all the places we loved, from the restaurants to the grocery stores to the drugstore. And now, Ball Ground being a walking community, it's very much like College Park when I grew up in Orlando. So being back in Georgia, you really look around and there's just any and everything. If you haven't been to Callaway Gardens, go to Callaway Gardens. If you haven't been to Stone Mountain recently, go to Stone Mountain. Get out and spend some time. And one of the things I'm going to encourage you, we just did a song that was a Christmas song. This year, once again, Christmas, there will be amazing lights in Macon, Georgia. Compliments of the Wyndham family because they left a legacy. Each and every one of us is going to leave some kind of legacy. Somebody's going to remember something nice you did for them. Somebody's going to remember some kind gesture that you did maybe for a stranger. Somebody's going to remember who you were and what you were. Be the best that you can possibly be. I think David Ralston was the best that he could possibly be, and today we want to honor the memory of this amazing, amazing guy. So here we go with Dwight with a song in memory of Speaker of the House, David Ralston.
It's a sad day at ETC, folks, as we honor the life and legacy of our Speaker of the House, David Ralston. Precious memories, unseen angel, sent from somewhere to my soul. How they linger ever
Okay, now we're going to go to something that a lot of folks have been waiting, wondering who won, who did this, who placed, who did great in the Fiddlers Convention. If you were lucky enough to be part of that, then you already know, but we're going to share bits and pieces of it. It is going to air in its entirety here on ETC, and that is going to start happening in just the next couple of days. It is amazing to me the talent that came out of the mountains, and we now know that it was in 8 states. Competition came from 8 states far away to right here in Georgia. Georgia is filled with so much goodness, and the goodness you will see today is from some of that local talent. So we're going to go now to the Fiddlers Convention. Sit back and enjoy.
Judges, are you ready? All right.
Up first, from Elton, Kentucky, Noah Goebel. That's Noah Goebel from Elton, Kentucky. All right, our final contestant from over in Bloomingdale, Georgia, Marina Lindblom.
Judges, are y'all ready? Y'all good? Okay, all right.
I'm going to be playing the Ukpik Waltz.
From Bloomingdale, Georgia.
Now the question is, how many of y'all are like me and glad you do not have to judge between that? Woo!
That's stout. Stout as a garlic milkshake.
That's just hair.
That's just flat good.
Yes, yes. Look, gave me coat chills in plain. Woo!
That's the truth.
Whoever wins is gonna get to talk to the reporter from the Towns County Herald. So, woo, get to have an interview. That's uptown now.
Big time uptown.
You think they'd be able to understand what I'm saying? I am from Possum Trot Holler.
Well, yeah. you know, you and us ain't much different than us dirt farmers from Alabama.
Or have you ate yet?
No, you want to?
Let's go.
All right. Tell him I said my belly button's grabbing my backbone and it's trying to tell me it's hungry.
You got that right. Thank y'all so much for being here and sticking out with us. We'll get these results in just a minute. I just hope and pray that each and every one of y'all have a safe trip back home. And like I say, when you get there, tell everybody what fun you had here and invite them next year. Because we're going to be here next year again.
Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise, we'll be here.
You got that right. Let me see if I can go find some money.
I tell him, I says, that's the quiet money, that folded kind. It don't make no sound when it hits the table.
as they're coming out, I want to let everyone know this was close. So close. 2 points. It was close. So give them both a big round of applause. I mean, they both deserve it.
And the award this time goes to There ain't but one. There ain't but one. First place, Noah Goebel, the king of the... Thank y'all so much for being here and appreciate it. Safe travels home, everyone.
In order to win that, they had to compete with other people, and they had to win junior and senior division, and obviously Noah got it. He won. He was amazing, and I think that she also won in the senior competition. Is that right? So yeah, so she also was a winner in the senior competition. And when we look at that, I'm in awe of anybody who can play a fiddle, because I just don't get how you can make that thing do what it does, but that was amazing. And once again, that is born and bred talent. You know, one of them was from Georgia, one was from Kentucky. They came out of the mountains. They probably learned from somebody sitting on a front porch. So today, if you're sitting on a front porch picking, find a kid that you can get interested in doing music and remind them that these mountains, these hills are full of amazing talent, and there's somebody out there that you can learn from. So if you have an inkling that you want to do that, find an old timer, and that is the best way to learn. That is absolutely the best way to learn. Well, you know, one of the things that I've learned about doing television is people remember old folks, and in the near future we're going to be sharing some footage of old folks who have gone on and not with us anymore, and these are things that were done years and years ago here at ETC. That's one of the great legacies that we will be leaving at ETC. There is a legacy of those who have passed on, who made a difference in our community, from Papa Jack Bryson to Joyce, to the beautiful older ladies down in Ball Ground who were truly the matriarchs of the community. There's so many people in the communities that we serve that made a difference in our lives. I think about Farrell Starnes and what she did for the community, as she was always doing something for somebody else. Today, get out and do something for somebody else. Get out and do something that's fun with a younger person. If you're an older person and you're thinking, you know, my kids don't care about this stuff that I enjoy, find a young kid who would love to do that. And whether you teach them quilting, or you teach them cannon, or you teach them how to pick butter beans. Boy, that wasn't one of my favorite things, but they sure were good after we picked them. So find somebody to do something with today. And don't forget, tomorrow night, on Tuesday night at 7 p.m., the Ball Ground Historical Society, I hope that Uncle John Tinsley, who was part of writing this book, will be there. As long as his health is good and he's with us, I hope he will be there to talk about the wonderful history of the Cherokee as remembered by people who walked the hills. I was reading while we were on break, 1941 to 1960, many of the pictures in here were captured during that era of Forrest Wade walking the hills, walking the riverbanks with his grandfather, with his great-grandfather, and learning about the Cherokee. So come and be with us again tomorrow night. We're going to leave you now with a little bit of a tiny city that I really, really love. Here we go to Ball Ground.